crypto policy report on Wednesday. According to the administration's crypto task force, that report will be a set of recommendations around potential regulation ahead, including the feasibility of a strategic national stockpile.
Tomorrow, the U.S. plans to announce its first crypto digital asset report, giving much more detail about what to expect with crypto in the U.S., but also a report on which cryptos they actually hold, how much, and what altcoins will be in a crypto asset stockpile. We think Bitcoin, along with these three altcoins, could be in it and primed to pump. This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, Altcoin Buzz IO, and as always, it's not financial advice, and wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Alright, good morning you guys. So starting off today, Bitcoin is more or less in the same spot. We've kind of just been chopping around this $118,000 range. And I think we will continue to kind of chop today and maybe into tomorrow, as tomorrow we have FOMC, potential rate cuts, but also is the crypto asset stockpile and report and all that. So I think more or less today, we're just going to continue to chop around. Nothing too much will happen, and maybe a little bit of a sell-off, de-risking going into FOMC. But I think overall we'll just be, hovering and chopping around this area. So not too much to update on there. We also have Leah saying, Justin, the U.S. government is about to release a strategic crypto stockpile report confirming it holds Bitcoin and other assets. This is the breadcrumb. They're prepping the public for what's next: digital asset realignment, banking access reform, and the great financial flip. You don't build reserves unless you're about to use them. Utility coins will follow. Hold strong. So we have the asset stockpile and crypto report coming out tomorrow, as well as FOMC. So tomorrow's going to be a very important day, which means today there's going to be a lot of chopping around. And then we also have a trade out loud saying the FOMC meeting this Wednesday, July rate cut odds are evaporating ahead of next week's Fed meeting. So about a month ago, there was about a 25% chance that there could be a rate cut. Then a week ago, there was about a 6% chance. And now it seems like there's just about a 2.5% chance that there will be a rate cut. So pretty much everyone is expecting no cut tomorrow. Then we have the president's family now owns the 6th largest Bitcoin treasury. After years of hostility towards crypto, it was only a matter of time. So you can see at Trump Media and Technology, DJT holds 18,430 Bitcoin, making it one of the biggest public Bitcoin treasury companies, which is crazy for a president. And then we also have Eleanor Turret saying Trump Media says it now holds around $2 billion in Bitcoin and Bitcoin-related securities, about 2/3 of its $3 billion in liquid assets, as part of its previously announced Bitcoin treasury strategy. So not only is MicroStrategy and every other company doing it, but so is Trump Media as well. So obviously Bitcoin is going to be part of this strategy. It's just what other altcoins are going to be included. And then at the same time, Tommy Lee says markets don't peak on fear. Tommy Lee calls this the most hated V-shaped rally, with FOMC risks and tariff fears keeping institutions cautious. But markets don't top on fears, they top on euphoria. So he says this.
Continue to say that this is the most hated V-shaped rally. Is it still?
Yes. Markets made new highs this week. I don't find a lot of people cheering and happy. Most of our institutional clients are skeptical of this recovery because they feel that there's still looming uncertainties, whether it's the FOMC or the tariff deadline. So, as you know, markets don't peak when investors are skeptical. They peak when there's over exuberant enthusiasm. There's no signs of that today.
They're not wrong with wondering about the uncertainty relative to those issues, are they?
They're not wrong, but I think it's the amplitude that people got wrong. So in April, people thought if you didn't have a trade deal, we'd have economic Armageddon. But now what they're finding that is if you're wrong, it's just we don't have to fall off a cliff. And so there can be diplomatic solutions or even pushing off deadline.
Now for the first altcoin we think will be in the crypto asset stockpile, which I think at this point is pretty much confirmed. Trump's crypto portfolio is 95% Ethereum. ETH is super undervalued. So World Liberty Financial, Trump's crypto project, has a lot of Ethereum, and most of it's Ethereum. And they have just bought even more yesterday. So pretty much guaranteed this is going to be part of this asset stockpile. We also have the Falcon X hot wallet just loaded up on $48 million of ETH. Institutional demand is real. And Trump's World Liberty Finance has bought an additional $1 million of Ethereum just 21 hours ago. So, it's pretty sure that it's going to be included in the stockpile. Then we also have Grayscale saying, we believe Ethereum may benefit from crypto-friendly U.S. policy shifts. The new legislation like the Genius Act could clarify stablecoin rules, drive investment, and accelerate smart contract adoption. With strong dev activity and scaling plans, Ethereum is well positioned to capitalize. So they said this.
Expect smart contract apps to take off in the next 1 or 2 years thanks to the US rule changes. The Trump team specifically has made crypto-friendly moves, setting up the industry to grow. For example, the new Senate bill, the Genius Act, wants to clear rules for stablecoins. Clear rules means more investment and more blockchain use, which helps Ethereum. With its big developer crew, heaps of on-chain cash, and open design, it's ready to shine, especially in decentralized finance. To wrap up, Ethereum is a key player in smart contracts, backed by its strengths, scaling plans, and rule changes. We believe its fee-earning ability and its network effects will lift ETH's value over time.
Now, ETH is definitely one of the stronger coins right now. We are just kind of consolidating here underneath this 4,000 level. This has been the big target for everyone to get to, as you know, usually when we pass 3,000, we pretty much always go to 4,000. You can see it the multiple times before. So we have, blasted through 3,000. We're going towards 4,000. We're kind of consolidating here. And I think it's, partially in, the whole, people taking profits, but also FOMC and, whatever happens over the next day or so. So I think, there's not too much to be worried about, but I think we will kind of consolidate around this area. So anywhere around, 37 down to around 35 is totally fine if we're consolidating here in the middle of this range. But I do think we go towards $4,000 once we get a little bit more clarity tomorrow and then over the next couple of days, especially if ETH is one of the biggest names announced in the asset report tomorrow. I think ETH will probably pump past this $4,000 pretty soon. And then for the second altcoin we think will be in the crypto asset stockpile, we have Solana. But first, we have the SEC has delayed the Grayscale Solana ETF with new deadlines set for October 10th, 2025. So a delay in a deadline is better than a straight out no. So this isn't it's fine. It's not the most bullish, but it's not super bearish. It's just kind of neutral. As we are just extending the deadline towards October 10th. Once this does potentially get approved in October 10th, this kind of lines up with the whole Q4 super pump that we usually have at the end of the crypto cycles. We also have Novostro saying Solana is often associated with meme coins and launchpads, but under the surface, it's becoming a serious venue for real-world assets. Solana now secures over 514 million tokenized assets. That's nearly 4% of all tokenized assets on chain. Its low latency and parallel execution make it well suited for fast-moving markets like tokenized equities, private credit, and short-term debt. Novostro will extend Ethereum-issued RWAs to Solana using Wormhole. This unlocks a faster trading experience while keeping provenance and compliance anchored to Ethereum. Our marketplace will service Solana native liquidity alongside EVM assets, so users can engage where execution is the strongest. So even RWA platforms that are native to ETH want to also bridge over to Solana. Then we have a Solana floor saying, President-elect Trump has appointed David Sachs as the White House AI and crypto czar, stating that Sachs will develop a legal framework to provide the crypto industry with the clarity it's been seeking. Sachs was an early investor in Solana through Multicoin Capital. In this 2-year-old clip, Sachs explains his investment thesis on Solana. So David Sachs, the crypto and AI czar, is heavily invested in Solana. So it's not hard to picture a world where Solana is also invested. Solana is also, in this asset stockpile. And with the Genius Act, stablecoins are no longer crypto; they're essentially financial infrastructure, and Solana is becoming their default rails. Fiserv, WorldPay, Stripe, Visa, and PayPal. Payment giants are choosing Solana, the natural selling point for on-chain global finance. So Solana is becoming the rails for a lot of these, financial companies. So while ETH gains from stablecoins, Solana gains from being the actual financial infrastructure. Now, Solana, I will say, is a little bit weaker than the other coins today. It came up here and tested this, 205 area as an area of resistance, and now it's kind of making lower highs here. So not the most bullish right now. What I can see is maybe we come back down to this level here around this. Maybe we come back down to this next level here of support around 165. I could see that potentially if we get a sell-off today. But more or less, I think it is kind of consolidating. And it ultimately will go up, but I think it might either come down here or it comes down just a little bit lower down towards 175 and then continues back up. Either of those is a possibility. There's not too much read on this right now. Solana is just a little bit weaker than other altcoins today. It was stronger in the previous days, but then it kind of sold off right here. So I'm expecting a little bit of a, more of a sell-off in the coming day as we go into FOMC tomorrow. So I'm not touching this one just yet. I kind of want to see it start to, reverse its market structure and start coming back up and, making higher lows and higher highs again. So not too much to do with Solana right now. It looks just kind of decent. I wouldn't touch it yet though. And then for the last altcoin we expect to be in the asset stockpile, we have XRP. So Amelia says XRP is expected to be one of the 5 digital assets that'll be accumulated by the US government as part of the president's a recent announcement strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States digital asset stockpile. We also have Jack the Rippler saying the White House digital asset says they'll include a strategic national stockpile of crypto. Remember, Donald Trump mentions XRP on True Social before any crypto asset. And then also a couple months ago, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said he is confident that XRP will be added to the White House Digital Asset Stockpile, as he expects to see an XRP ETF this year as well. So he said this.
The XRP was named by the president on Truth Social. He posted something saying that there should be other tokens, that there's going to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve and then a crypto stockpile that would include things like XRP.
Days later, the executive order didn't include it. Why was that?
I don't know what specifically was in the executive order. My understanding is there's going to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve. There'll be a crypto stockpile representing other cryptos. And I would expect that will include XRP. So I have immense confidence on the ETF. I think there's 11 different filings pending with the SEC to launch ETFs, from everybody from Bitwise to Franklin Templeton and a whole bunch of people in between. I think those will be live in the second half of this year. We have seen, even outside the United States, you have live ETPs. And at a time when a lot of outflows are exiting some of the crypto ETFs, you're seeing inflows into XRP. And I think that's because you had this false negative pressure from the SEC, this kind of, an exogenous hand holding things down that's now being released. And that's great for the market. That's great for builders within the XRP ecosystem globally.
Now, XRP, just like Solana, is making these lower highs here. So it's not the most bullish to me right now. I could expect us to go a little bit lower. Maybe we do something like this and then we come back and we reclaim this level around at $3.10 and then go higher. That's a possibility. But right now, it doesn't look the most bullish to me, but it also doesn't look the most bearish. It's holding this level of support right here around 314. But overall, XRP is in an area where I wouldn't touch it right now until it becomes a bullish market structure again. And whether that's a reclaim of this level around at $3.14, or if we come back above here and we reclaim this level around at $3.30, when we return to a bullish market structure, that's when I'll be interested in XRP again. But until then, I'm just kind of waiting. And then lastly for today, we have Binance introduces a new principal protected earn product, RWUSD. So RWUSD aims to benchmark yields in real-world assets, such as tokenized US Treasury bills. So RWUSD is a principal protected yield product that offers users flexible term subscriptions with daily APR rewards. Designed to provide relatively stable returns, it aims to perform consistently in both rising and falling market conditions. And the advantages of holding RWUSD are principal protection, where your principal investment is protected, providing a safer way to earn yield compared to more volatile assets. It's supported by real-world assets, where the yield is supported by income generated from Binance's ecosystem, and real-world assets such as tokenized US Treasury bills, enhancing product sustainability. It's flexible subscription and redemption, where you can subscribe and redeem RWUSD anytime, offering a highly liquid and convenient way to manage your assets, and collateral for VIP loans, where RWUSD can be used as collateral for VIP loans on Binance, providing additional financial flexibility and borrowing power while earning yields. So RWUSD could be a good way to earn a potential 4.2% yield even in a bear market as crypto is going down, a good way to earn yield even in the bad times. And that is the video for today, guys. I think overall we are just going to continue to chop in this area. Not too much to do today. We're going to wait for tomorrow when all the volatility is going to happen with FOMC and the asset stockpile selection. And those are our three picks as to what we believe could be in the asset stockpile. And once this uncertainty kind of subsides, I think they will take off again. We just need a little bit of more clarity around this, and I think we'll get that tomorrow. So that is the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.